What is up, family? This is Jesus MMA. Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm going to be recapping the UFC Baku card, Hill versus Rountree. And also, I'm going to talk a bit about Jon Jones retiring. As Dana White announced maybe like 30 minutes ago now from the time I'm recording this in the post-fight presser. So yeah. Let's not delay any further. Starting off with the main event this time, I'm going to work from the main event downwards on the card. Because I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of shitters on this card. If I had to give it a rating, probably 4 out of 10. Maybe even 3 out of 10, I don't know. Even the main event wasn't that exciting. There was a few knockdowns for Rountree. Well, okay, yeah. Rountree wins, unanimous decision. Like 50-45. Maybe you could give Hill the first round. Maybe. But that's about it. Because after that, Rountree controlled the pace of the fight. They really fought a Rountree kind of fight. I don't know what Hill was doing, man. Going into this fight, I said Hill is going to win with his pressure, and Khalil will eventually gas out. He'll have a good first few rounds. But when Hill pushes forward and lands a lot of those nice dirty boxing shots, he'll have success. And that's what he was having success with in this fight. The issue was the leg kicks. The leg kicks were keeping him from pressing forward. He couldn't get that momentum going. And he was kind of just stuck this entire fight, just kind of protecting himself. He would occasionally land some glancing blows, but he got knocked down like twice or 3 times. I know it only says 1 knockdown on the stats, but he definitely got knocked down more than once. Yeah, Rountree didn't even throw that many leg kicks against Anthony Smith, who is infamous for having like a very easy frame to kick. Like it was very easy to kick Anthony Smith. Rountree barely did that. Eventually finished him in the third round, but still. So I didn't expect him to have that much success with the leg kicks in this fight. I know Jamal Hill doesn't have the best leg kick defense and not the best footwork, but I really kind of expected more out of him and a bit less out of Khalil. But yeah, this fight wasn't too entertaining. There were really some long pauses where they weren't throwing anything and just feinting constantly. And yeah, after the fourth round, I kind of had a feeling it would go to decision because Khalil's had these performances before where he's knocked down the other guy multiple times. I think against Eric Andrews, he knocked him down like 4 times, but he never chased the finish or went for the finish. It was always just like, I don't know. He was not pressing hard enough. He was staying patient though, safe, and that is something that I guess you do have to do against Jamal Hill. But man, I cannot pick a main event right for the life of me as of now. And I did pretty terribly on picks as well throughout this card anyways. But yeah, I heard Jamal Hill walk out to 100 shots by Undolf. I thought, as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, this guy's winning the fight. And I was completely wrong. Khalil won this fight pretty easily. Just destroyed Jamal Hill's legs, took out his base, so got rid of most of his power, and he just won his style of fight. Jamal Hill did not fight in the way that I would have expected him to fight, but at the end of the day, he lost fair and square, man. Can't be too salty about it. So, unfortunate result for Jamal Hill. I don't know where he goes from here, but yeah, it's a tough result for him. Yeah, shout out Khalil Rountree getting it done. The co-main event now, Rafael Fiziev versus Ignacio Bahamondes. I chose Fiziev to win this. I actually flipped a coin in my prediction video because I thought this was going to be a very close fight, and it was close. I know all the scorecards say 30-27, but every single round was close. It's like a slight edge to Fiziev for most of the rounds, but maybe you can give the second round to Bahamondes. Yeah, it was a close fight. Bahamondes was throwing a lot of head kicks, and he hit a few of them, but most of the time Fiziev was doing that matrix dodge. You know, the wheel kicks weren't really working for Bahamondes, especially later in the round when you're more labored, you kind of are a bit gassed, you know, that kind of shit. So, yeah, and Fiziev went for takedowns, which I don't think Bahamondes was expecting. He got taken down every single time that Fiziev shot, which I was surprised by, because Bahamondes, I mean, he's got some decent ground game. He trains with Bilal Muhammad, who is a wrestler, so you would expect that his wrestling or his takedown defense would be, you know, up to par with Rafael Fiziev's takedown offense. But I don't know, maybe it caught him off guard. But yeah, this was a decent fight. They were both pretty even in the striking. Fiziev would have some good combinations, and Bahamondes would kind of hit him at the end of those combinations. Like there was one sequence where Fiziev was blitzing in with some punches. I think maybe it started with a body kick, and at the end, Bahamondes landed this nice head kick that kind of landed with the toes on the side of Fiziev's head or his forehead. So Bahamondes was in this fight throughout the whole fight, but Fiziev got it done. It's good to see him get a win. Yeah, I don't know what's next for him. Maybe he still wants to make the move to featherweight. Bahamondes, this is just a learning experience. I see him getting better. He's only 27 years old. And, yeah, man. Shout out Rafael Fiziev for getting the job done, man. And at least I'm 1-1 on picks so far. And we're going 2-1. But I swear to God, this next fight, man, was the most depressing fight, or one of the most depressing fights I have ever watched. And it was Curtis Blaydes versus Rizvan Kuniev. Split decision win for Curtis Blaydes. I'm going to be honest, and I picked Blaydes. I said Blaydes by whatever he wants. I could see this fight going towards Kuniev, but I'm glad it didn't, because steroid cheats and, you know, whatever. But I don't know if he was on it for this fight. But this fight was really shit. This is a really shit fight. And it kind of makes sense now that Blaydes said that his MCL popped in the first round, because he was so lethargic with his movement, especially in the second and third round. It looked like he was scared when he easily won the first round. It wasn't entertaining at all, but he easily won that first round. And then we have Kuniev starting to piece him up on the feet in the second. I'm wondering what the fuck's going on. Curtis Blaydes looks horrible. He looked abysmal in that second and third round. And Kuniev didn't look that much better either. He won the second round. He could have won the third round. They were both landing shots on each other. Man, this fight really kind of made me lose any interest that there is in the heavyweight division. And now that Jon Jones is gone, at least there's some interesting news for the heavyweight division. But oh my goodness, man, I don't think I can deal with any more of these heavyweight fights that are barely any better than the WMMA fights. We're getting more entertaining WMMA fights than heavyweight fights on a more regular basis. I swear, if somebody tallies up the numbers right now, that might be accurate. There is so many times where we see these heavyweights just have a tit-for-tat battle on the feet, hold up against the fence, clinch fest. And we saw that with Muhammad Usman versus Hamdi Abdelwahab. It wasn't the most entertaining fight either. And yeah, man, I really don't look forward to any of these heavyweight fights. The top 5 is really the only interesting part. And yeah, man, it's good that Aspinall's the champion now, but there's really no interesting matchups at this weight class. Yeah, Kuniev did better than I expected, but it's because Blaydes looked so shit. And yeah, he was a lot faster than Blaydes too on the feet. I was really worried for my pick during this fight, is what I'll say. But yeah, 2-1, and I really did well on the main card. I will say I did well on the main card. The prelims, I absolutely got destroyed on picks, but we'll get to that in due time. Next fight down the card: Tofik Musayev versus Muktikbek Orolbai. This was an easy pick for me, at least. Orolbai easily won with takedowns, the wrestling, submission attempts, kind of grinding him out, I should say. Tofik was kind of just a hype job. He's got some highlight reel finishes, but he didn't fight smart in this fight. He was throwing body kicks, and both times he did, Orolbai caught the body kick, and then he would just get him down on the ground easily at will. And yeah, that was the story of this fight. Orolbai gets the submission finish. I don't think he got a win bonus, which is kind of crazy because there were only 2 finishes on this card, and it was Orolbai and then Sadykhov got the only finishes on this card. You would think that Orolbai would immediately get it, but I guess Motta got a performance bonus too. Whatever the fuck's going on, man. It is what it is. But yeah, Orolbai did a good job. He won. I thought he was going to win. It's kind of funny that the odds for this fight were closer than some of the odds for the other fights. But yeah, man. Good win for Orolbai, and good Kimura submission. And yeah, man. 3-1 on this main card so far, and we continue to 4-1 with Nazim Sadykhov getting a TKO. Well, it was more so of a KO win against Nicholas Motta. This was a great fight. First round, I had it for Motta. I saw a Verdict MMA app. Most people gave it to Sadykhov. What the fuck? It kind of just proves why that application, that app, should not be the new judging criteria, because people just vote for their fan favorites. Like, Motta clearly won that first round. I know Sadykhov ended the round well, but he got dropped in that round. He almost got finished up against the fence. And I was thinking to myself during that sequence, because it was a body shot that hurt Sadykhov, and then he's like rolling really well with this barrage of hooks that Motta's throwing. I thought Sadykhov was just playing super defensive and purposely gassing Motta out. I didn't actually think he was hurt, but in the post-fight interview, he said he was. So that makes more sense, because I was going to say, this is your strat? This is stupid as hell. Thank God the ref didn't jump in. Let the fight continue. It goes to the second round. They're brawling with each other. Sadykhov's gained like more momentum. He's landing more shots, but Motta's sticking in there with him, landing some good hooks as well. They're both landing crazy shots on each other. So, talking about this fight, yeah, might as well give them the performance bonuses. I still would have liked to have seen Orolbai get a performance bonus for the submission. But yeah, this is a great fight. Easily fight of the night. Easily performance of the night for Nazim Sadykhov. That was a sick KO. This is up there with one of the fights of the year for sure. On one of the shittiest cards of this year. But yeah, man. Shout out Nazim Sadykhov. And look at that. My predictions 4-1 so far. And we go further down the card. Mohamed Naimov gets the win against Bogdan Grad. I'm not going to lie. I could have seen Bogdan Grad win this fight. But it was so boring and so uninteresting that I kind of just don't care, to be honest. But that first round, Bogdan was doing really well. Landing more shots. Naimov lands this spinning head kick that kind of wobbled Grad. So I can see people giving the round to Naimov. I know it was just one strike, so it's kind of debatable. But I don't remember Grad landing that many strikes anyways. But yeah, man, this fight was a bit of a pushover fight. Not interesting at all. It says that Naimov landed less significant strikes, so maybe it was a robbery. But I don't know, man. I had the first round to Naimov. I believe I gave the second to Bogdan, and then the third to Naimov as well. But honestly, you could score this either way. I would not complain. So yeah, 5-1 on the predictions so far. And this is where it starts to go in the shitter. Seokyeon Ko versus Oban Elliott. As the biggest favorite on the card, Oban Elliott got bitched. It was pretty crazy to see this. I had a lot of faith in him going into this fight. Ko was named the Korean Tyson, like Korean Mike Tyson, and I see it now. I know he didn't get a KO, but he bitched Oban Elliott. He might as well have bitten his ear off during that fight because there was not a single moment where Oban looked threatening. He just looked like a victim this entire fight. Most of the fight was spent on the ground, and Ko would just like get these nice reverse takedowns with these judo throws. And a lot of the times, especially in the first and second round, it seemed like Oban was commencing the grappling exchanges. He was engaging in the grappling, and he was just getting outmatched every single time, and then would subsequently get taken down. Yeah, Ko did really well. Landed some good shots as well in between the takedowns, kind of like the Marab, the Marab motion, going through the motions. Besides that, not really much to write home about, except that it was a huge upset. Yeah, Ko looks very promising. He's got a lot of KOs, and this was a pretty easy decision win for him with his grappling, which I thought Oban would have the advantage in, but I was completely wrong in this fight. So 5-2 my predictions go, but they go back up to 6-2 because Jonghyun Park gets the win against Ismail Naurdiev. Cut Ismail from the UFC, or don't. I don't really care, but they should consider it because this guy fouled so many times in this fight, and I'm so glad that the referee took away 2 points for that grounded knee to the opponent, because that was an egregious illegal strike, where before that it seemed like Park was building up some momentum, especially near the end of that first round where he rocked Naurdiev, and then he gets poked in the eye twice by Naurdiev, and then gets kneed while on the ground in that same eye. Naurdiev jumps up on the cage, thinks he's won the fight by KO, and then realizes, fuck, brother, I did not win. Gets deducted 2 points. Jonghyun Park, Iron Turtle, just toughs it out, wins. In my opinion, he won the second round and the third round as well. Just a good performance by the Iron Turtle. Classic vet showing from him. And I'm really glad that he got that win, because it would have been depressing if he lost after getting fouled so blatantly. I mean, realistically, I wouldn't have been mad if it was. I know I picked him, but I wouldn't have been mad if this was a DQ win, because that was such an egregious illegal foul, and I'm surprised he was able to continue, especially after we saw Bellato last week. So it's always funny how in MMA, especially the UFC, one week you see a certain thing happen, and then the next week you see something that you can kind of relate to it, like Bellato flopping, pulling a Neymar, and then Jonghyun Park, the Iron Turtle, toughing it out, saying, fuck it, I'll take the 2 points, and I'm going to still win this fight. So yeah, shout out Jonghyun Park. The Iron Turtle train continues. Give him a ranked opponent, man. He's got to win against Brad Tavares and a bunch of other decent wins. That Andre Muniz fight was pretty close as well. I think he's ready, man, and he's either ready now or he's not going to be ready ever, because he's getting older, man. So I say give him a ranked opponent, bro. The middleweight division's shallow as hell anyways. So yeah, man. Next fight up on the card, we've got Daria Zhelezniakova versus Melissa Mullins. I picked this fight completely wrong. I just went with Mullins. I saw she TKO'd Daria in their first fight. I'm not going to lie, I didn't watch this fight too closely. But Daria was landing more strikes. She had a lot of success early in the first round. Mullins came back near the end of it. And then the next 2 rounds, Daria was just landing volume. And Mullins was just like waiting for the counter. She was also trying for the takedowns as well. Blatant fence grab by Zhelezniakova in the third round. Probably should have had a point taken away, but that didn't happen in the Tagir fight either, which I'll get to. So you can't expect too much from these refs, man, at this point. Especially, and listen, I don't want to generalize, but especially in like the Middle East region or Central Asia, when they do events in these areas, it seems like a lot of fighters just get away with blatant fouls. Thankfully, Jonyon Park, it was so blatant that he got the 2 points, and Naurdiev, got penalized for it. But yeah, there was a lot of fence grabbing during this event. Rizvan Kuniev actually grabbed the fence a bit as well. So yeah, a lot of fence grabbing, and it's always when we go to Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia. It's really strange why it only happens here. But Zhelezniakova gets the win. I picked Mullins to win. People were complaining about the fence grab. I don't really fucking care. To be honest, it's a WMMA fight, and it's a bantamweight WMMA fight. At that, the division is dead. So, yeah, I guess good for Daria getting the win. I picked Ron, so I'm down to 6-3 now, and I continue down to 6-4. Now, if you were to ask me after the fight why I picked Irina Alekseeva, I would only be able to tell you that it is because she was a heavy favorite going into this fight, minus 270. Did I do any tape watching? No, I didn't. It's a women's bantamweight fight, and these two barely have any experience in the UFC. But yeah, Claudia was just lighting up Irina Alekseeva. Alekseeva looked horrible on the feet. Just fucking abysmal. Just looping, throwing winding punches. Claudia was countering her so many times, hitting her so much. If only she had, what the fuck? If only she hit harder, then this would have ended in a KO. Because she was hitting Alekseeva so many times. But it's hard to get hyped for it when you know that a KO is not going to happen. I mean, she lit her up on the feet. And no wobble moments, no nothing, man. It was like no real moments where people in the crowd were like, on the edge of their seats, So, yeah. I guess shout out Claudia. My predictions go down to what? 6-4 now? Yeah, that's 6-4. And 7-4 for the next one, though. Tagir Ulanbekov wins against Azad Maksum. I will say, you could have given that fight to Azad Maksum. And 30-27 is a shameful and ridiculous scorecard. But of course, every time this happens, it's always the Team Dagestan fighters that they get these close decisions where they also blatantly have a moment where they're cheating. Ulanbekov grabbed the fence so blatantly in the second round when Azat Maksum was taking him down. Maksum still ended up getting the takedown, but still, like, if we're not enforcing the rules or taking points away, people are just going to keep getting away with fouls. And I know as MMA fans, we're all tired of seeing it. I don't necessarily think this was a robbery decision. It was a close fight at the end of the day. The 30-27 just makes it egregious, though. They were never giving Azat this fight, clearly, based off of that. But, they had some good exchanges on the feet. Azat would land more volume, but the thing is, Tagir would counter with much heavier shots and much heavier straight punches. It looked like his shots had more impact. And, also, Azat went to the body a lot more. And I guess for judges, that's not going to look as, not pretty, but it's not going to look as impactful as Tagir kind of tagging Azat with a jab and a 1-2 on his face. So I have to say, though, I was very shocked at how good Azat Maksum's takedown defense was. I went into this fight thinking Ulanbekov was the better wrestler. But I think it's time we all admit that Tagir is one of the most overrated gym members or fighters coming from Team Khabib. Like, he could have lost this fight. He could have very easily have lost this fight. His last performance wasn't that impressive as well. He didn't get a single takedown in this fight. His control time is all just fence control time. The boring bullshit that we're all accustomed to seeing at this point. And, yeah, but they were having some entertaining moments on the feet, I will say. But, man, that fence grab just kind of just stains his performance a bit. I'm going to be honest. But good win from Ulanbekov. I picked him to win. But if you think Azat won that fight, I wouldn't argue with you. It was a pretty close one. Kind of sucks for Maksum that he's lost his first 2 UFC fights, but he's looked really good in this one. And in the Charles Johnson fight, he also looked good in the first round as well. So yeah, hopefully he gets a better luck of the draw in his next fight, because he could have broken into the rankings in his second UFC fight. So he's got a promising potential contender career ahead of him. And then finally, the heavyweight shitter, Muhammad Usman wins against Hamdi Abdelwahab. I picked Hamdi because I thought he was going to get a robbery decision. That is quite literally the only reason. And also, Usman's not good. I want it to be made clear. I didn't think Hamdi would win because he's a superior fighter. No, I just thought it would be a close shit heavyweight fight that you could give to Usman, but then the judges just give it to Hamdi. But Usman clearly won this fight. I'm not gonna speak too much on it because just another heavyweight shit fest where I'm not interested in anything that they're doing. But Mo Usman did hurt Hamdi in the third round. So that was entertaining to watch. But man, sometimes it's really just not a fun division to watch. Heavyweight division. It has never been more dead than now. Yeah. So I went 7-5 on picks. Pretty horrendous. I believe the previous card I did a lot better. I think I got I got a few fights wrong. I think I got 3 wrong last time, and I was also doing like a Cody Brundage pick that time. So y'all gotta cut me some slack. But yeah, man, that fight night was low key a bit shit, but the post fight presser more interesting. Dana White gets asked about Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall fight. He doesn't even offer this information. It had to be asked to him for him to even say it. But Jon Jones is officially retired. Finally, the disgraceful heavyweight champion is out of the sport. He can ride off and enjoy life as much as he said he's been enjoying it. But we've all seen the disabled and the hidden comments on your Instagram, brother. Everything has probably gotten under his skin and he's just retired. He's done with it. Probably thinking, they'll miss me when I'm gone. But it's like, no, man. At the end of the day, we just wanted to see Tom Aspinall fight for the belt, regardless of who's going to be holding it or if it's going to be vacant. You were the champion at the time, and it's good to see that finally the UFC probably put some pressure on him to, listen, now you need to retire. Like, either fight him or we're stripping you of the belt. So he decided to retire. But what an unceremonious end to the career that is Jon Jones. A lot of people will consider him the GOAT of the sport. Honestly, if you do, whatever, man. I'm not going to hold it against you, but I do want to let you know that you do not actually watch the sport. You may have watched it in the earlier days and, have grown up and raised a family or some shit like that. Or it's just these Instagram UFC fans who see the highlights and nothing else and don't know anything behind any of it. Jon Jones has had one of the most disgraceful UFC careers of all time. Multiple failed PED test. Events completely moved to different commissions that are more lenient with their drug testing policy and whatnot. It has been really frustrating having somebody like that who's been given so many second chances, third chances, fourth chances by the company and disrespects the fans along with it. Anybody who was a Jon Jones fan during this entire Tom Aspinall saga is not a UFC fan. They're just a Jon Jones fan, and they want to be the fan of the GOAT, the quote-unquote GOAT. Jon Jones may have one of the best resumes in UFC history. I cannot consider him a GOAT because of all the PED cheats. And every single time I see the Daniel Cormier head kick KO highlight, you got to remember that fight was overturned, no contest. Jones tested positive. The biggest win of his career, he tested positive for. So what are we going to have to say about this now? I don't know, man. Just disgraceful run as the heavyweight UFC champion. I'm glad that he's retired now. He doesn't beat Cain Velasquez reigning record. But what a shit ending to this. I mean, it's just a pathetic ending, really. Like, in my opinion, I do not like Jon Jones, but in my opinion, I would have preferred to see the fight happen and Tom Aspinall win instead of this just pathetic, like Jon Jones just like withers away and dies type of result where it's just he withers away from the fight and then just, no, I'm not taking it, I'm retiring. It's just pathetic. And yeah, I really wish that this could have ended differently. But at the end of the day, it didn't. And I really thought the UFC was holding out on announcing it for the Netflix deal. But it seems that that was not the case. And they were just bullshitting the entire time. Dana White, back at it again. Bald-faced lies. Whatever, man. Retire as well. I'm waiting for Dana White's retirement speech. Because he's not got his head in the game anymore. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the card. I know I've definitely talked for probably a bit too long, but I gotta make this video up quick because we've got big news about the Jon Jones thing, and I just wanted to include it. I'll talk about it more in detail probably in another video, maybe on the real reasons, maybe speculating why he quote-unquote retired. We'll see. But anyways, let me know in the comments what you guys thought about the event, what you guys think is next for the UFC heavyweight division now with Tom Aspinall as the rightful champion. And yeah, this is Jesus MMA. I'll catch you guys later. Ciao, ciao.